जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी Hare Krishna. Going wrong. Half 6. Now it's half 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today I'll be reading from the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And today is also a very special day. It's known as Viruthini Ekaadasi. And I will explain to you why it is very special. So before I begin, yesterday we had a little session at the temple in Aruca. We had 3 young boys and they had started to play the mridanga on the first day already. So very impressive. So we hope that more people can be encouraged. I see we have some good musicians here in the audience. So you can do advanced level as well. So I try to make some time on Saturday afternoon, maybe 1 hour, like between 5 to 6. So you can take some time to come. You can do some advanced harmonium as well, no problem. The idea is that this settings here at Aruca, we are so fortunate because what I see is that we have a beautiful preparatory, and just as Srila Prabhupada started a movement in Tompkins Square Park, there was a tree as well, and there were some young people as well, and he said he will make these hippies into happies. Why? Because these people, they came because they want to experience change. They are frustrated with this mundane life, house, land, car. We have to maintain all of that. We have to maintain wife. We have to maintain children. We have to do everything, just like I was speaking last time. So much austerity is there. Of course, this human body is designed for austerity. So this is why I want to speak a little bit on austerity today, being that it is Ekaadasi, Viruthini Ekaadasi. But with a complete knowledge, we don't see it as austerity. We see it as happiness. We see it as a wonderful opportunity to offer our love. Love means, that definition of love means what we sacrifice for another. Sin is what is not pleasing to Krishna. So once we understand why we are doing this sacrifice, then it is so pleasurable. Everything becomes so pleasurable. So one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what are the recreations in this Hare Krishna movement? He said, this entire movement is based on recreation activity. What are the recreations? We came, we chant, we dance, we eat nice food, wonderful, tasty food. He said, have you not noticed that this entire process is recreation? So, susukam kartam avyayam. Everything is pleasing. And it requires simply regulative living. Maybe some little donation to maintain and regulative living. So someone might work hard all week, and then we mix with the material nature. The soul comes in contact with the material nature, and we feel so exhausted, we feel so tired. But Krishna is always dancing. He always, as Vicharu Swami came recently, well, he's soon to be Swami, and he came and he described that this is a sweet 16 activity, you know. As long as we became apavitra, you know, punya pundarikaksha, this was apavitra pavitra vasavashtam pundarikaksha. Once we become one with Krishna and his activities, we are always like 16-year-old boys and girls, you know. We are all happy and we are always enjoying. Prabhupada asked one question: have you ever seen in any of these beautiful pictures like Krishna smoking a cigarette? Oh wow, Krishna is working very hard with his machine and trying to plow land and so working very hard. There's no pictures with Krishna doing that. Only enjoying in every situation. In every situation in our life, we are being tested constantly by Krishna. And therefore, we need to reassure our happiness by approaching a spiritual master. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishaya vido sikelina mahata yoganashta paranta. That in this parampara, we have to find this spiritual master that will tell us the truth, and we understand fully, with firm faith. We must have that firm faith that our spiritual master is going to guide us back to God. The first time, I see we have some new members here as well. So the first time I came to Krishna consciousness, I was born in Krishna consciousness, but as a child, first time coming to the temple, I never understood this process, you know. Why is this guy Ananta spinning and dancing by himself in the temple hall? He's so happy by himself, you know. Why is he so happy by himself, spinning and dancing like a madman, you know? And sometimes arti will be taking place, nobody in the temple hall, and he's just chanting and dancing and feeling so much ecstasy, so much happiness at the lotus feet of the Lord. And why is Prabhupada singing in this tape? It is not so fancy, so expert singing, you know. It is very simple singing, little croaky voice because he's old. So this is not so pleasing. It's not so pleasing to me. So I never understood. And then there was so many things are wrong, we see, but I never understood. But I was happy. To some percent, I was happy in this situation. So. Srila Prabhupada said in this Brahma Samhita, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavika Vish, that everything is rasa, everything is, there's some taste. Although I didn't understand it fully, later on I realized that I was still happy, and I still didn't understand that either. That is because in material life, everything, all taste is finishing, everything is temporary. You know, we work very hard to get this vehicle. We work very hard all year to buy this vehicle, and then suddenly 1 year after that you see a bigger one, a better one, more comfortable with everything. How would you feel? You know, it is just, you know, taste is finishing, always exhausted. You're trying your best. But spiritual life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, is always increasing. This happiness is always increasing, more and more. Ananda Buddhi Vardhanam, Pratiparam Purnam Vidasvadanam, Sarvatma, Snaparam, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is an ocean of bliss that is always increasing. So reading from the chapter 16, it is described how to do austerity. This austerity, the greatest austerity, is Harinam Sankirtan. Because we experience so much pleasure, and at the same time, we experience some austerity. But it is not so exhausting austerity. We are doing work for Krishna, but it is not exhausting. We are experiencing so much pleasure. Sacrifice is another item to be performed by the householders because sacrifice requires a large amount of money. Those in order, in other words, those in order, orders of life, namely brahmachari, vanaprastha, sannyas, have no money. They live by begging. So, performance of different types of sacrifices meant for the householder. They should perform Agnihotra sacrifice as enjoyed in the Vedic literature. But such sacrifices at the present moment are very expensive, and it is not possible for any householder to perform them. The best sacrifice recommended in this age is called Sankirtan Yajna. The Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best and most expensive sacrifice. Everyone can do it and derive benefit. Sorry, everyone can adopt it and derive benefit. These three items, namely charity, sense control, and performance of sacrifice, are meant for the household. Then, Svadhyaya, Vedic study, is meant for brahmachari. So, this speaks of varnashram, dharma. There are four types of people in this world. You have the Kshatriya, you have the Sudra, you have the Vaishya, and the Brahmana. And we all have different places in this world. We have the householder, we have the brahmachari, and we have the gardeners. You know, they are doing business like that, local class people. We all have different natures according to dust of karma accumulated after many lifetimes. So, by the Lord's mercy, we are placed into these different forms: Grihastha, Sannyas, Ashram, Vanaprastha, and because of that, we are allowed to some contact with this material world, and we are able to practice our Krishna consciousness based on our level of understanding. Okay? But especially for the Grihastha, it is described that 25% of our lives must be in the marriage life, like that, 25% to different things. And also, while we work, although we are engaging in some percentage of sense gratification, because a human body, we don't want to become so in a level where we cannot be. Like, we want to totally give up such gratification, we will become frustrated. Sometimes even if we chant the holy name for a long period of time, and we do not have that level of advancement to sacrifice our time, we will become frustrated like that. So we perform just the right amount of tapasya based on which category we belong to, and we eventually Krishna has paved that way for us to make that advancement. So last time I was speaking about Raja Vishwamitra. He started off as a Kshatriya, and then he moved on to a Raja Rishi. From Raja Rishi, he became, eventually, after about 1,000 years of sacrifice, finally, Brahma said, you haven't given up everything yet in this material world, but you're almost there. But you have not conquered the eternal enemy of man, which is lust, at last. So again, he did so much more sacrifice. Again, Brahma gave him so much boons for thousands of more years, and then he finally became a Brahman. He finally became a Brahman. And so after all of these sacrifices, it is not so easy to become a Brahman. It's very special. So, but he was able to make that advancement by the mercy of learning when Brahma became his guru, and eventually he was able to receive proper knowledge from Parampara again. So this process is not as easy as we think, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, it has become easy for all of us. Krishna consciousness means that if we meet a beggar at the side of the road, he can hear our kirtan and dance in ecstasy and immediately feel ecstatic prema of love. And I could be a scholar of these books and I could feel nothing. So then I started to realize Srila Prabhupada, who Prabhupada really was. When I listened to Srila Prabhupada speaking, I started to feel an emotion like no other. And that emotion is like Vaikuntha itself. Only through the mercy of this Guru Parampara, I was able to follow this process and relish the real happiness. Sometimes something might be pleasing to us. We might be forced to commit sin because something might be pleasing. So, because it seems so pleasurable, we feel that it is right for us. And that is called Papa Buddhi. But when we do that, we are driven far further and further away from Krishna. And that is because of lust, that lust. This lust in this material world is like the darkness of this world. When I was reading the Ramayana last time, I described that Sri Ram, he is the personification of pure love. So he's compared as the light, this light over darkness. And why lost this darkness is because it is an illusion. Ravana was lost in illusion, so much illusion that he couldn't please himself. No matter how hard he tried, he was like a material worker, working so hard just to be misled by illusion constantly. So it is so important that we must have faith in our Guru's instruction. So much because these devotees are even beyond Brahman. Beyond a Brahman is a Vaishnava. And it says in this beautiful bhajan, I wanted to use two verses in it.
वाला हरिनाम संगीताने तुम कृपा पूरी श्राद्ध बिंदु दिया देव कृष्ण नाम धाने कृष्ण से तुम्हारा कृष्ण गीते पारो तुम्हारा शक्ति हाची आमी तो कुंडला कृष्ण कृष्ण बोली दही दवा पाचे पाचे
On my own, I find I have no strength to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. With a particle of faith, I beg you, therefore please be merciful and give me the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours, O Vaishnava Thakur. You are able to give him to me. For such, in your power, I am indeed wretched and run after you crying Krishna, Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada again is describing, just like an expert lawyer who knows the law of the land, like an expert mechanic who knows the complete function, the complete science of a vehicle. They understand very well how this world functions, the nature of this world. And they can fix you properly into Krishna consciousness. So you can prepare yourself for Krishna consciousness. So this is the importance of the Vaishnava. Krishna is in their grasp because of their way of life. Sometimes we restrict ourselves so much and we think, is this right? We are restricting ourselves so much. The more strict that we be is the closer we approach Krishna. But we must do it in the right way. So the spiritual master or the Vaishnava or his disciples are like the expert mechanic. They can help you find that way, find that path. Because there's this other bhajan, the folk song. It goes like Lakho Lakho Janmo Janmo Tujhko Hi Dhoonde Kiya. That for millions and millions of Janmo lifetimes, we are always searching. And we are searching for enjoyment. Because it is the nature of the soul, being part and parcel of Krishna, to always want to enjoy. But we are trying to enjoy in the wrong way. With Krishna, it doesn't cost us anything at all to simply understand. So that's why it says, in the next verse, it was like,
पाँव में कहाँ से आया तुझको मुझको जाना तेरे चरणों में जो आया जीवन को पहचाना जीवन को पहचाना.
that pehchan, this is that we will realize, कौन हूँ मैं, कहाँ से आया, कहाँ ही मुझको जाना, that who am I, where have I come from?
ज्ञानी बनकर दर दर बत मना से मूरत ना गया.
All of the greatest scholars are always equal and equal. Yes. No one can solve the greatest mystery in this world. Only Srila Prabhupada is describing here in the 15th chapter. A devotee is anapeksha suchi dakshi. Completely in the transcendental level, where he does not care for, not attracted for anything in this world, because he has experienced the highest taste. And that taste is only at the lotus feet of the Lord. Tere charanon mein.
जीवन पद पर मैं तक गया हूँ भूल चुका हूँ भगवान.
His highway to success Srila Prabhupada says, this Bunchukau might be very difficult, but we must never leave that highway.
कृष्ण मिले जो तेरा सहारा तन मन कर दो अर्पण तन मन कर दो अर्पण माया जानी माधव बचाने जला दे मानव कर दिया
Madhava, the meaning of Madhava means rays of unconditional mercy. Krishna is known as Madhava, means that we did nothing to deserve His mercy, but He will come and make that way for us. And He will drive Maya away. There will be a time when we will not be tested anymore. And we can completely understand this and become anapeksha suchitachi, not caring for anything, not even for disciples. This is His great pleasure one can understand. After the first 5 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, we learn to give up lust and envy. But really and truly, that lust is that self-destructive energy that we embrace that drives us away from Krishna. That lust is that illusion that misleads us constantly. So as mentioned, in this lifetime, after preparing, the soul, now in the next life, it becomes an astral body. At the time of death, everything will be tested to us. And then we will remember everything that we do. That astral body will be known as Yavana Sharir, where it will be hovering over its dead body. And the families and relatives will be coming and lamenting over his body at the time of death. All of the pains in life will come and you will be tested so much times. And when you see your relatives lament, you will experience more pain and misery. And then comes the Yamadutas. And within that 3-hour cycle, if the body is not disposed at that time, you suffer even more. And then if you didn't live the proper life, if you didn't understand your position in life, then you will have to suffer again and again in hell until we attain another human birth. The Jamadutas will come with thorns grown all in their hands and so on. And they will pull you and drag you for miles into the hellish planetary system. And if you resist, they will slap you like this. And their hands are not soft like mine and like a lady's hand. Their hands are very hard and they're full with thorns. And they will rip your face. And that astral body, it is not destructible. Nainam chintan dirastainam nainam kahiti parak. That soul mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as well. It is indestructible, cannot be touched by water, fire, and so on. But this body was designed to continue receiving suffering, and you will never die. You just have to absorb this suffering and karma. So it is even more painful. This material body we have, we may try to enjoy certain things. Sometimes I went to the beach the other day, and the river, and the place is so beautiful. The water is so crystal clear. What? Somebody made a joke, why all this water wasting and running down the hill, And I wish we could relish all of this. Then the sun will go down and we will get dark. We want to stay here, we want to live here, and bathe, right through. And but the human body is not capable to withstand all of this cold, this weather, and so on. So how much can we enjoy? We want to enjoy, and how much can we enjoy? We cannot relish even enjoyment in the material world. So as I was saying, but a devotee of the Lord, a Vaishnava, is known as Divya Sharira. He's not a regular soul, Yavana Sharira. Devotee is known as Divya Sharira, meaning that death is something that you must embrace. When death will come, it will not be as painful as a devotee. Because at that time, the devotee will be tested, and even death personified will offer obeisances to that devotee. Just like mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Dhruv Maharaj. You know, when he saw the Supreme Personality, he started to cry. He said, "My dear Lord, what I was fighting for my entire life was just broken glass, bits of broken glass. You are the real jewel, you are the real diamond." And then, at that time, even the Jamadutas will offer obeisances to that soul. And even if you can't remember Krishna, they will remind you of Krishna, based on the life that we live. There was a near-death experience. One devotee came in the dream of her husband. And she described, she was suffering from cancer and she died. She wasn't so popular devotee in Islam. She was just a simple householder, as mentioned in the Gita. And she had her children and so on. So she came to give a message and share her love to her children and so on. She just passed away suddenly and without saying anything to anyone. So she came back in a golden chariot, with Jai and Vijay, the Vishnu Dutas. And when that golden chariot comes, you receive love like none ever in this world. You feel so eternally happy. And she explained to her husband that you need not become anything greater than what you are practicing. We are chanting, we are reading Prabhupada's books, we are doing devotional service. That is just fine. All we have to do is understand this beautiful recreational process. And she attained liberation. You see, she has to go now. And then she just went up in this golden chariot and just disappeared from that dream out of the spiritual world. But she wanted to give this message to devotees all over the world. So that Prabhu went and put it in the Vyas Puj book. I can't remember which year it was. So he put that story in the Vyas Puj book so that devotees all over the world can receive this message. But you can go on YouTube and you see so much stories of near-death experience, and some people die also. And you will see that all the evidence is there. This is not a storybook, all the evidence is there. But the question is asked, sometimes we commit sinful activities, and we think, one of the 10 offenses says that we cannot commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. How to wipe out all of this sin? We want to go back to Godhead in this lifetime, We're not sure we will get a birth of a human body again. Because we have lived this life and we have been misled so much times, and some of us, we eat meat before we kill the animals. Prabhupada said the earth has so much vegetation, enough to supply for all of us, but yet still we choose to eat meat and commit these sinful activities and take intoxication and so on. That is not pleasing to Krishna. How to become free from this? And that is this very special mercy of the Ekaadasi. There are so many vrats. We have Janmashtami Vrata. We have you want to bear a child. There's a vrat for that. Brahmanas will chant so many wrongs and so on. Then there are the Mangala Gauri Vrata. If you want a good spouse. And then if you like money, a lot of people like money, so they take advantage of the Ekaadasi day. Completely fasting with no food, sometimes no gel, no water, nothing. And they do a Varaha Mahalakshmi, Vara Mahalakshmi Vrata. And they get wealth, and it does happen, especially Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is very merciful, so he gives benedictions to the less fortunate. But then Lord Shiva says in his famous line, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Muramate. But you remember to chant, you great ass. Chant, because you are wasting time again in this material world. So, it says, Ekadishim Dina Kinchat Pavanam Papa Kamana. Pavanam means to purify. All Papa. Pavanam. Ashvamedha Uparasena. na avartita. And it is equal to 1000 Ashwamedha Yagyas. Ashwamedha is not a simple yagya. Maharaj Yudhishthira used to do Ashwamedha yagya. First, you need to conquer the entire world. Everyone needs to follow you. So only 2 times in his life he was able to do Ashwamedha yagya. And in those times, they used to use a brand new solid gold utensils, as if it was a disposable paper plate. You know? We have to use all his expenses as well, which I spoke about. And then when it finished, they threw that away. Give that to the sutra class to use. Solid gold, disposable paraphernalia, threw that away. So only kings were able to do Ashwamedha yagya and so on. But on this Ekadasi day, we can get that merit of 1000 Ashwamedha yagyas. And only on Ekadasi day, we can completely remove all sin from past lifetimes. So I'd like to read a little bit of Viruthini Ekaadasi. Viruthini Ekaadasi. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Vasudeva, I offer my most humble obeisances upon you. Please now describe the Ekadasi of the dark fortnight of the month of Vaishakha, April 9, including its specific merits and influence. Lord Shri Krishna replied, O King, in this world and the next, the most auspicious and magnanimous Ekadasi is Viruthini Ekaadasi, which occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Vaishakha. Whoever observes a complete fast on this sacred day has his sins completely removed, obtains continuous happiness, and achieves all good fortune. Fasting in Viruthini Ekaadasi makes even an unfortunate woman fortunate. Upon anyone who observes it, this Ekadasi bestows material enjoyment in this life and liberation after death. It destroys the sins of all and saves people from the miseries of rebirth. By observing this Ekadasi properly, King Mandhata was liberated. Many other kings also benefited from observing it. Kings such as Maharaj Handumara in the Ikshvaku dynasty, who became free from leprosy resulting from a curse Lord Shiva had imposed as a punishment. Whatever merit one obtains by performing austerities and penance for 10,000 years is achieved by a person who observes Viruthini Ekaadasi. The merit one achieves by donating his great amount of gold during a solar eclipse at Kurukshetra is gained by one who observes this Ekadasi fast. Indeed, he who observes this one Ekadasi with love and devotion certainly attains his goal in this life and the next. In short, this Ekadasi is pure and very enlivening and a destroyer of all sins. Lord Krishna said to King Yudhishthira, O blessed son of Dharma, with Vasishtha Muni once told Lord Ramachandra, I shall now describe to you, please hear attentively. Better than giving horses in charity is giving elephants, and better than giving elephants is giving land. But better than giving land is giving sesame seeds, and better than that is giving gold. Still better than giving gold is giving food grains. For all the forefathers, demigods, and human beings become satisfied by eating grains. Thus, there is no better charity than this in the past, present, or future. Yet learned scholars have declared that giving away food grains, moreover, Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that giving cows in charity is equal even to giving food grains. Still better than all these charities is teaching spiritual knowledge to the ignorant. Yet all the merits one can attain by performing all these acts of charity are attained by one who fasts on Viruthini Ekaadasi. One who lives off the wealth of his daughters, one who lives off the wealth of his daughters suffers a hellish condition until the inundation of the entire universe. O Bharata, therefore one should be especially careful not to use the wealth of his daughter. O best of kings, any householder who takes his daughter's wealth out of greed, who tries to sell his daughter, or who takes money from the man to whom he has given his daughter in marriage, such a householder becomes a lowly cat in this next life. Therefore, it is said that whoever as a sacred act of charity gives in marriage a maiden decorated with various ornaments, and who also gives a dowry with her, obtains merit that cannot be described, even by Chitragupta, the chief secretary of Yamaraj in the heavenly planets. That very same merit, however, can easily be achieved by one who fasts on Viruthini Ekaadasi. The following things should be given up on Dashami, the day before Ekadasi: eating on bell metal plates, eating any kind of urdhan, eating red lentils, eating chickpeas, eating kondo, eating spinach, eating honey, eating in other person's home, eating more than once, and sex. On Ekadasi itself, one should give up the following: gambling, sports, sleeping during the daytime, betel nut and its leaf, brushing one's teeth, spreading rumors, fault finding, taking to the spirituality, talking to the spiritually fallen, anger and lying. On Vadasi, the day after Ekadasi, one should give up the following: eat on bell metal plates, eating urad dal, red lentils or honey, laying strenuous exercises or labor, eating more than once, sex, shaving, smearing oil on one's body, and eating in another's home. Lord Shri Krishna continued: whoever observes Viruthini Ekaadasi in this way becomes free from all sinful reactions and returns it to the eternal spiritual abode. One who worships Lord Janardhana on this Ekadasi by staying awake throughout the night also becomes free from all his sins and attains to the spiritual abode. Therefore, O King, he who is frightened of his sins and their attendants, reactions, and thus of death itself, must observe Viruthini Ekaadasi by fasting very strictly. Finally, O noble Yudhishthira, he who hears or reads this glorification of the sacred Viruthini Ekaadasi obtains the merit earned by donating 1,000 cows in charity, and at last he returns home to see the abode of Lord Vishnu. This ends the narration of the glories of Keshava Krishna Ekaadasi or Viruthini Ekaadasi from the Bhavishya Purana. Bhavishya Purana was spoken by Krishna himself. You know those books where you can get palm reading and so on. It is very true, but there are many astrologers, they give false knowledge and so on. But that science of palm reading and body features and so on is from the Bhavishya Purana. Bhavishya means future, Purana. So we have a few more minutes. Maybe I can do something else, but we have some senior devotees with us. And let me remind you all that we have Mohandas more frequently at the temple as well. So when I come on Saturday, you can come, ask any question on Bhagavad Gita or say something about Bhagavad Gita. And so this is the connection that I'm speaking about. A senior devotee knows the connection to Krishna. So try to dedicate some time, a busy schedule, working hard day and night, dedicate some time and try to hear a little bit of Krishna. I am no expert myself, as I said, but by my Guru's mercy, I am able to speak something, speak some words. I have not speculated or say anything that is out of context. My life has changed by completing the Bhagavad Gita. So whatever I can do to answer any question from anyone right now, before I continue. And if I can't answer, then we have Prabhu here to help us with the questions. Anyone? Maybe you can meet me after the class and so on. We are vegetarians, so we don't eat meat and stuff like that, don't bite anybody. So maybe I can give a little more detail on that soul process. There's one beautiful story in the Srimad Bhagavatam called Raja Gajendra Moksha. A lot of people know that story of this elephant, devotee of the Lord. You see, you get a free concert also. Everything is here.
सिंधु के किनारे
that he's enjoying in the Sindhu River, Sindhu ke kinare, with his family members and so on. And I guess he was trying to do like me. And this water was so wonderful. But I didn't see any snake in the water, so so it didn't disturb my life. But unfortunately for Gajendra,
सिंधु बीच बसत ग्रह सिंधु बीच बसत ग्रह चरण धरी पछावे.
that he saw this magarmach, this huge crocodile. And he attacked him. He was so fearful, attacked his feet. So he had to defend his family members. He was so fearful and scared. At that time he wasn't thinking about Krishna. He was in so much pain.
चार प्रहर अठबयो चार प्रहर अठबयो.
Maybe Kulip can help me with this one. How much hours is one prahar? 3 hours? That might be something like 3 hours. 3, 4 hours are 12. 12 hours he's wrestling with his crocodile,
चार प्रहर दावयो ले गयो मछली. नाक कान डुबन लागे नाक कान डुबन लागे चरण धरे पछावे.
His eyes and his ears, his neck, am I correct? His eyes and ears, naka kana, and is completely submerged in this water. Now yes. And his nose is completely submerged, and then now he's Chalana Dari Pajabi. Now he's chanting the name of Govinda. Now you remember, I can chant. I'm totally helpless.
हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे गोविंद राखो शरण अब तो जीवन हारी.
Rakho Sharana, Lord of the fallen jivas, the fallen souls. He's